Hey guys, and welcome back to another video. As you can see, for those on YouTube, there is a slight little upgrade here with the starting screen. Comment below if you do actually like it and want me to keep it. But in this video, I'll be going through the bargain buys of the BBL SuperCoach season. A lot of players that are really below their historical value, giving my thoughts and opinions on them, as we do have quite a few of those guys, and I haven't really done a video with regards to that. I don't believe I've sort of just done how I do trading and my initial team, and then doing a couple of individual guys. So let's just jump into this video here and jump into who I think are the bargain buys of the year. So first of all, obviously we need to probably put a filter on. Let me actually just see, that's probably gonna be better for you guys. I genuinely think we can just go down to, I reckon around that 150 marker is around about the marker that we want. And then we'll go from there. I think also we should apply probably a bowler, because genuinely the batters at that price are not so. And we'll also then go through and then filter the batters in the second half of this video, or well, the last about quarter of it, because it will generally all be about the bowlers. So you have Bird and Curran. If we actually go to, if I just quickly go back to my home screen so that you can, so that I can get onto the Google Sheets form to show you guys the pricing, not mechanism, but anyway. If I just quickly go here, there we go. Now I can go back here for you guys. So we have that Curran was at 152. Did we say 152 flat? If I go to here and go to, if I go to 152, and then I go equals this divided by this, you'll see his price is about 51, 51.4, which is still, if we now look at, and I get this back onto bowlers and then go back to this 150 filter, it's probably going to go in and out. I need to actually just do that. That's fine. And go to Tom Curran now. So we said it was 51.4 that he'd averaged previously. If you actually look at it, his 23-24 is actually at 41.8. And then his one before that 42.5, and then before that nothing, and then before that 71.5, and before that 73. So he's actually a little bit down on his statistics. But if we go to Tom Curran, and then I know it's going to look weird, but I want this one here, because for some reason, if I remember correctly, this has the best, the WestIndiesCricket.com has almost the best stats checking website. So if I go to competitions and I go to his last competition with the bat, no, we don't want county championship, we don't want that. We want Vitality Blast. That is, for some reason, the economy rate, which is shouldn't be like that. It should be, they should probably put a strike rate in. But that 9.43 divided by 6 equates to a 157, it's run rate, but that should be, 157 strike rate, an average of 20. So yeah, it just shows how well he was doing. And then to have his boundaries, dots. We just need, I wish it was 20 plus scores. That would be the big indicator, but you can see, in 9 innings, he's averaging 15 with the bat or so per inning. And then doing that at a 157 strike rate. So he's basically facing about 10 balls per inning, you would say. 89 balls from 9 innings. And then with the bowling and the Vitality Blast, if we go to Vitality Blast, you'll see here 16 wickets in 9 innings, which is pretty good. If we go to, I believe it's bookmarks here, I think it's here, down here, IPL averages, you'll see he's not actually in there, I don't think, is he? Maxwell Stoinis, I don't know if they have any, nope, I don't think they have the Vitality Blast scores, but I'm pretty sure just from looking at this that this would be quite a high, that would be just 32 here, and then is that dot balls? Dots 70, so 320 plus 72 is 392, plus 140 is already 532. 532 is, divide that by 9 is around about already the, 532 divide that by 9 is already around that 59 average just in the Vitality Blast. And I think he can do something similar, which is, as we said, already 8 points above his, what he's priced at, I believe, if I remember correctly. And yeah, you can see that 101 break even. So yeah, he's basically priced at 51, or 50.5. So, and that's even without taking into account any catches or any economy rate bonus or anything like that, which he probably would account for as well. So yeah, I think he's one that you can definitely see some improvement there, and I think he's one that could go mid-60s. So I think there is something there for him. If I go back here now, it's going to have to reset the filter countless times, but it is what it is. If we just go here, and continue down, Mitch Marsh probably not going to play. Lockie Ferguson, I don't think we've seen enough from him per se to say that he's going to be necessarily be value. If we do look up over here, you'll see in the IPL he did average 63, but I don't know if you can necessarily say that he's going to do that in Australia. And also, I don't think you're going to start with him, as I think that with the Thunder not having a double till round 6, you're going to have to wait. And I don't know about his availability because I haven't really looked into Thunder player availabilities, to be honest. Morris, if we look at Morris, I'm pretty sure he's one that has done it in the past. If I just quickly go through, where is it, season stats, etc. If I go to summary, it's probably going to be easier. 50.1 in the past, and then before that 72, before that 19, and before that 2, and so on, so on. I don't think he was really getting games, so he really just exploded in 22, 23. And he's now priced at, I think, around that 50 marker given the 8 games. So yeah, it should be priced at 50.1. That makes logical sense with what I've sort of seen with the magic number. So yeah, I don't think he's one that's probably in this sort of category. Chris Jordan, don't think so either. I think he's basically full priced. I mean, he could do a little bit, but I don't think he'll do anything dramatic, to be honest with you. Just looking at his stats previously, I don't think he's one guy that's going to go more than that just because. Like, he could go 55, but I don't think he's going to be real value, and the Hurricanes don't have a really fixture for that. Ty, 47 last year. The previous years, he's gone 59, 54, and 42. So he's probably in and around said value, I would say. So I don't think he's really a cash generator or a bargain buy. Kuhneman, I don't think he's either. I think he's been a perennial sort of mid-30s, 40s guy. Actually, you say that, but he's averaged in the 20s for most of his career. So maybe a change of scenery with the domestic scene. I think he's now in Tassie, but I don't think it's going to make much of a difference. I think he's probably almost at his tip now. Dwarcius, he did really well last year. Why is this doing it now? Let's try and get you below the screen. Nope. 59 in 22, 55 and 58. So he's done in the 50s quite a lot. He could be helped out a little bit by by Tom Curran moving away, so giving him a little bit more, probably better bowling slot, as well as potentially even higher in the batting order. We'll have to wait and see on that front. But I just wonder what's going to go on with him. And I think that with the Sixers, I just think there's more value elsewhere. Jack Edwards, another guy that I think is actually probably included in this sort of underpriced guys. I know in 22, 23, he looked horrific. And then 21, 22, he looked really bad. He's looked really bad. But I think he's one that's definitely grown in his sort of, I guess, not maturity, but I guess in terms of his stature across the Sixers. Definitely last year was really good in the field. Wasn't the greatest with the bat, if I remember correctly, but did provide somewhat of a degree with the bat. But if we just go here, yeah, you can see 9 wickets there, 84 with the bat. I think he can improve with the bat. It just depends on what's his role going to be, because is he going to bowl his 4 and bat 5, or is he going to bowl his 4 and bat like 3 or maybe open? So we'll just have to see with that. And it usually usually remains around what they do with, Dan, who's currently injured. Do they just straight out replace it with Curtis Patterson, or do they go with a bowler and put Jack Edwards up the order, or do they open with Jack Edwards, depending when Vince is gone or what with his availability? So I think he's one to definitely consider. But the whole point of this video was basically to get down to Abbott and Richardson here. You can see Abbott last year averaged 34, the year before that averaged 63, the year before that averaged 70, the year before that averaged 54, the year before that averaged 85. How did he average 85 and was 35th in the comp? Oh wow, that must have been some high scorers. And then averaged 67 and then averaged 79. So he's been the leading scorer in the comp before, and I just think he is the one that is probably going to go amiss, I think, a little bit. If we actually just go to 2024-25, do we have his ownership or anything? SuperCoach Plus, let's go by all coaches. And then sort by price, please. Price, and you'll see he is owned in 15% of teams. I just think with the Tom Curran leaving, it gives him even more of a leeway, and there is a real big potential he goes up the order again. If we just go to, and I just want to actually double check this, I know that I used it for the match short comparison, but if we just go to Australia's ODI against Pakistan, you will see Sean Abbott bowled 8 overs, 1 for 34, so he did take a wicket. He also didn't take a catch, but he would have had 27 dot balls, which is unrealistic in a domestic game. But say he had, so that would be, so he'd have probably 2 extras and 13 or say 12 dot balls. He would have got about 35 points from bowling probably, and then added as well 13 runs with the bat, so like 48 in a game where he didn't bowl necessarily the greatest, and had also Stark and Cummins there ahead of him, which are he probably won't have that type of quality there at the Sixers. He'll probably be the lead bowler anyway. And so yeah, he scored about 50 there. I know that that's sort of unrealistic to show that, but he's still been taking some wickets. So yeah, I just think he's one that can really, really generate and really, really score well. So I think he's one that will be in a lot of, or could be missed by a lot of people, just because, and yes, he is priced at 44. As you can see here, he did get a little bit of a premium upgrade. And that is basically force the issue on, do you start with short or do you not start with short, and how you're going to generate cash. And I think he's one of the key ones here for generating cash because, well, not really generating cash, more so just, he's probably a guy that's going to finish, he's 131k at the moment, as you can see, if I just go here, and put this back down to like that, so it should show up again. Yeah, he's 131k. I suspect at the end of the season, you're going to see him around about that 180, 190k. You're effectively saving 60k getting him. I know a lot of people will probably get him in round 2 for near enough the same. It could be around the same value anyway. Or sorry, round 3 it should be that you're getting him. But I think round 3, he could actually be around that 160k by then. So yeah, I just think that he's one that could really, really be crucial, and I think he's a starting, him or Jack Edwards are probably, at least one of them, a starting must given the Sixers, and just not going full-fledged on the Melbourne teams in the double. I know that SuperCoach Edge in his team reveal did a really good sort of not analogy, but showed last year that a lot of teams did really well early on with the Brisbane Heat guys in their triple, but then were just stuck with them. And all of those guys on the triple there because they didn't have enough cash to sort of maneuver them around effectively. So I think having different stages in your squad is really good. And having Sean Abbott, Jhye Richardson, and these 130k guys and Jack Edwards are really, really crucial. And also spreading out the teams on the teams is also really crucial. Jhye Richardson, I think he's going to go up to around about 35% owned by the time that the season starts. 43 average, price stat. He did average 30 with the ball, but he was horrific last year, but averaged 79 the year before, and the year before that didn't play, and then the year before that 64, the year before that 58. So if we think about it, other than his, and this is where stats start to really come into it, other than his really horrific year last year. His I think he's plus 12 or something on every other year that he's priced at. So I think when you're getting plus 12 for a guy that you probably don't even have to trade out throughout the year, much like the similar thought process with Abbott, I think that's when you have to go for them. And just, yes, there is a slight risk that he just averages 40 again, but there is just a massive historical value there for Richardson, and I don't think he gets named into the test squad, and I don't think there's any ODIs or anything stopping him, so he should have full availability. Head won't play. Chris Green, don't think there's value. Sam Amir, there's non-objection certificates problems potentially there with him. So I'd be a little bit concerned about that, as well as availability issues, so just watch that space. Agar looked all right in the Shield, but 124, I don't think he's ever really been huge value, to be honest with you. 34, he's been sort of 55, maybe. Didn't play in 2021. 35, yeah, no thank you there. Spencer Johnson, just don't think he's, just don't know if he's necessarily going to be huge value. Has been a 40s guy when he did play, so don't think there's any value there. Cam Boyce will probably get games, but I don't think there's any value there. Cooper Connolly, guy to watch, but I think that he just doesn't get enough overs with the ball and sort of batting six, so it's kind of hard for him to really score well. Fabian Allen, so yeah, especially when they have, if Inglis is there for the whole tournament, that'll be a watch there. Allen with a 117, he's a guy that I'm very interested in. If I just go to here, does this please say it has a search function? Fabian, I have actually, you can see where my research comes into this. Please, thank you. Here we go, and then we go to Fabian Allen here, and I actually thought he was more of an all-rounder than he actually was originally. As you see here, they say sort of 7. I think he's more probably, he's sort of for West Indies bats like 8 or 9. So he's, as you see here, let me just go down here. No one really. Lankan Premier League, you can sort of see West Indies A. No. Where's the actual, do we have like a IPL? 1 game there. Caribbean Premier League, you can see averaging sort of 12 with the bat. So yeah, I wouldn't really be too intrigued about him, to be honest with you, with the bat per se, but I'm more interested with the ball. And you see here 9, 10, do we have any other Lankan Premier League? 10, 11. So it's a one that I'm not too sure about, to be honest with you, now looking about this data a little bit. So priced at, I think it's roughly about the 40 or so marker, if my math is correct. Yeah, it should be around that rough 40 or so marker. 39. So yeah, I'm not too, I just don't know about him. Bethel, I think, is away for the first little bit, so just be careful about availability there. And I think Fabian Allen also is away for the first little bit, so just be careful with the availability there. I just need to check and confirm that. Rogers, Chauhan, I think it is. I actually really think he's one that could surprise people. I think he's a mystery spinner if there's ever. He's very similar in nature to Rashid Khan. You cannot pick him. Like, there are bowlers that you can pick, like a Adil Rashid and guys like that are leggies. I can't pick Chauhan, even like on a slow-mo replay. That's how good his wrong-in is. And so I'm just intrigued at the SCG. They have, with Stephen O'Keefe leaving and Todd Murphy potentially looking at practicing for red ball cricket over white ball, Chauhan could become a guy of interest. So just wait and watch, but I don't think he necessarily gets to start, and I think he could also be a way to start. I just need to double check that. Sanger, no. Ellis, no. Swepson, no. Fergus O'Neill, another guy that could potentially be valuable and pretty well. Hayden Kurt, another guy that I think is going to be value if he gets back to starting. 39.5 he's priced at, I believe. Am I right in saying that? 35 priced at, not 39. And we look at 39 last year, the year before that, 45. So there's potentially a little bit of value, about 10 points, but it's not as hard and clear as like the Richardson and also the Abbott. McAndrew, and I don't know exactly his batting role, to be honest with you. McAndrew, I don't think there's much value there. Thornton, I think, is definitely value. He's priced at 33, as you see there, and then you can see 52.1, and the year before that, 62. The year before that hasn't really played before that anyway. So I just think there's a lot of value there, especially him getting back into the striker's side with them losing Wes Agar and some others, I believe. So I think there's definitely a role for him. Kane Richardson is another guy that I think priced at 32.5 or 33, give or take. I think there's definitely a role for him. Plus 13 on his, plus another basically doubled there, 48. You can see the value, historical value, like I was saying with the likes of all of the other quick bowlers. I just think he's one that could really could be really valuable, especially with the early double. So he's one I'd look at there for you guys. Henriquez, no, even though he might get back to bowling. Hussain is not available for the BBL, so don't select him. Couch looked alright, but I don't think he gets a game. Scotty Boland probably with the test squad. Marcus Stoinis, a guy that I just need to see the role. As a lot of people have pointed out, there's definitely historical value, but that historical value comes with the role of him opening and bowling 4, I should say, or batting 3 and bowling 4, or just getting overs and batting in the top 3 or 4. He looks as though, at the moment, with them having Curran, Webster, Maxwell, Sam Harper's probably going to have to open, I would think. It just doesn't look likely that he gets that opening spot, and looks more likely he's going to bat 5 or 6 and get 1 or 2 overs, which I don't really see the value as much there. Murphy, no. Zampa's another guy that I just want to highlight quickly here, and then I just want to look at the really underpriced batters. 42 a couple years ago, and then 35, and then 54. So I think there's at least 10 points of value pretty much on any of his games in the past, or seasons in the past. So I think there's definitely value there. So I think at 80k, he's a guy that can really shot up to about 140. And I know I think I had him last year at periods as well. Secondary value, Paris is one that's bowling all right in the Shield at the moment, so he's one to watch. And then Buckingham is at 39.5 is definitely a bargain buy, I reckon, if he gets games. Then we just quickly switch over to the batters here, and you'll see if I just quickly, I pretty much need to get this filtered down to about 100k because that's where the batters sort of come into play. If I just go here, I may have missed someone doing that, filter, but anyway. McSweeney, if he doesn't get involved in the test squad, could be really interesting, but I think he's odds on to go there. Rogers, no. Stones, we already talked about. Ollie, you can sort of see Jason Sanger, if he bowls a couple, could be interesting. Average 61 in the past, but I think, like last year, I don't think he gets a bowl, and I think his batting has really started to wane a little bit. Ashton Turner is the one guy probably here, maybe Tim David, that I'd be interested in. Average 9 last year, was injured, etc. 34 the year before, 36, 27 and 20. So there's potential value there. He's priced at 23, so there's potential value there. Tim David as well could be another one that you look at. In 2023, averaged 24.5. The year before that, averaged 51. So I'd have to probably look at the guys there, but Tim David could be just a handy sort of bench player that you use potentially even in the flex position, and you just, as he's so cheap, so you could use him there as well, given that he can get onto one in a game and could also bowl us over. So I'd have to look at especially with Hussain now missing, I'd have to look at the Hurricanes lineup, but he could be one that just bowls a cheeky 2 overs or so and could take a wicket or 2. And then there's basically no batters here that I like outside of that. Sammy Harper is just because Duckett looks to be missing the first 2 games, or the first double of the Star season. So I think he's odds on to, Harper's odds on to get the gloves until Christmas, or their Boxing Day game, I think it is. So yeah, at 58.5, he should be able to bounce back is basically the theory here. If we just go quickly to his last year, 8.9, he sucked. He had concussion issues as well. 42 the year before that, 34 the year before that, 40 the year before that. So he's basically doubling everything, and he's looked all right in the one day and the sort of domestic setup. So I think he's odds on to have a bounce back year and average in the mid 30s, which would put him potentially about 40k cash gen or so. Kellaway, Joel Davies. Joel could be an interesting one if Chauhan gets caught up in international duty. He would need a lot of stuff to go his way to play. I think at the moment, just given how stacked the bowling department, especially the spinners, are for the Sixers, even though I really did want him to get a game because he's probably good value. And then Solzy, if they get games into him, could be really good value, priced at 13. So yeah, that's how cheap those guys are down there. But anyway, that is the video there. I definitely did run a little bit over time, but if you did enjoy that video, remember to like and subscribe, turn the notification bell on so you know when I upload, and I'll see you guys tomorrow for the next BBL video. Bye guys.